tank killer. And Ariete, are you fine there? I'm not quite sure. You might have to skill the dash first, and he does.
That's gonna hurt his early wave push a little bit, so SGB should have lots more control over the spot side, unless CBL can get a lot of that poke off with that range advantage. But I'm seeing an early Mountain Drake. We saw the symbol over the pit for a little bit, so if SGB can pick that up early, that's going to really bolster their stats, really help these tanks get to that unkillable point a little bit faster. So SGB, I'm expecting a little bit of a heavy bot lane focus. You've already got the Draven there, so you're probably not playing towards your top side anyway. It's a Norn. And so early Dragon could become an actual contested objective, something that hasn't really happened since the buffs.
Yeah, exactly. Those buffs are like the most important thing, but because individual drakes right now actually really matter, especially if you can have champions like Ornn, who already has like this resistance steroid in his kit in general, right? He just gets 10% more armor in MR, even what he really builds. And if that just gets accelerated even further, the Ornn just will get unkillable for the side of Hazmat, and Nagia could struggle to play against it. I really want to see his item build as well, as we have seen Blade of the Wound King Rush for Renekton in the first game from Kiaya against the Gragas, and I mean the Ornn in general is also one target you can really lifesteal off of, so I would expect Nagia to go a similar route if he just doesn't default to the Godwinker as his first item. And for the side of Glowy and Ariete, of course, they need to really have a decent early game, otherwise the damage department will definitely be a huge problem for the side of Team Wales. And Saigon Buffalo on their side, having it a bit easier. It just feels weird to call the Draven competition the better scaling one, but Draven, if he can play like this, he usually just plays with a gold lead anyway in the mid game. He doesn't fall off as hard, especially if his opposition is a Lucian.
Oh, so this is a little bit interesting from CBL, taking the Relic Shield, fearing that, wanting that extra health, the extra damage against that all-in potential. I don't know necessarily that the extra, like 50 health is gonna do all that much for you. I think perhaps just trying to get the extra poke, but playing a little bit safe, not really wanting to step up is the main goal of this item choice. But we're seeing bot laners, junglers rather, have made their way down, moving in towards the spot lane. Full clear for Killer Queen on these Krugs, which have been forsaken up by BJ for now. He's just lurking around this jungle entrance.
These Krugs take forever.
Sure where he wants to go.
He's still on the Krug. It's just so frustrating to watch. Like a Wukong, who's not like the best fast clearing jungler at all, just going for the Krugs. It's like the hardest camp to take, I would say, next to the chickens, and it's probably harder than the chickens. And yeah, speaking of the Relic Shield from the Na'Vi, I mean, maybe at one point CBL survived with just like 30 or 40 HP, and we just look incredibly silly, as Killer Queen right now, with those double buffs, is on its way to the bot lane, but he would just be spotted by this Tribush ward at BJ. He knows exactly where he is. BJ, however, just now also getting spotted by the bot lane from Team Wales, or just by the team in general, so no early action being there. Something that Saigon Buffalo, considering the draft, is probably happy with, but maybe there's a weapon one from BJ.
And now they see the recall has completed now, so now Team Wales feels a little bit more confident stepping up and trying to let this wave crash with the assistance of the Wukong and the Bush. SGB are aware that he was been in the area. Now this aggression, they're just gonna let him fall, let it crash, let it fall back, and it should be an early reset for this Lucian army. But overall, not a lot. Some small lane advantages coming out for the side of Team Wales, but still waiting for the junglers to get involved, for the junglers to get anything going. They have a little bit of setup in some of their lanes, but it's not the easiest to get a gank off right now.
And there's another matchup I really want to focus on, and this is kind of out of the box. It's Hankai versus Uwei, actually, because Uwei is very vocal about Saigon Buffalo being the second strongest team, and Hankai was very vocal about in the podcast that Team Wales will make playoffs, and we earlier discussed the stakes, right? Team Wales likely has to win right now, or Hankai himself has to do Team Wales a favor in dropping the series tomorrow to them. So really, those two battling against each other in the indirect matchup is something that I really look forward to, and I really want to see how Team Wales make their first move, because I think their hand will be forced soon enough.
Well, if 1v1 results are any indication, it's probably not looking great for Team Wales. But overall, just maintaining the status quo of this pace. Junglers once again taking their path down towards the bot lane. Not sure what happened there. Glory apparently not getting stunned, and we missed something.
Flash, staggering blow. There's a lot of damage on
Looks like
Ariete.
it's
Yeah. Oh, he didn't die. He didn't die. That's why nobody really focused on that. Oh, he just not died off screen as they show the replay. Classic spectator.
Classic. Yeah.
He died to a gank from BJ right now. And the summoner spells got forced due to the replaying stuff we had earlier. So this is the first small edge on the Saigon Buffalo side. And Nagia is just now playing proxy Renekton against the Ornn, something he can do at this point apparently, as the Renekton level 6 is a lot stronger than the Ornn level 6. Ornn level 6 of course also very, very strong, but he will see again outplayed. Already no mana wastes his Relentless Pursuit, and yeah, the Relentless Pursuit is on by the side of Saigon Buffalo. They don't really have any damage dealer, right? It's just Poppy and Nautilus together, just the tank bros kind of battling up against the manaless Lucian in the early game. And yeah, congratulations, you are manaless Lucian in the early game. You just died to those tanks, base damage.
So good moves from BJ, able to capitalize on the earlier plays made by Shogun. Fortunately, not passing the gold off exactly where they want to, but now we see Glory has started to find some freedom, moving into the fog of war. Not going to make his way down. Wave's not in a great position, and we're seeing that dirty farming as well. So Team Wales, they're feeling fairly confident in their laning. They're stepping up quite well. They have a lot of priority, but Queen can't really do anything. He's not fast enough in his own clear to try and like invade and disrupt what BJ wants to do. He's not level 6, so he requires the lane setup for his ganks. Do we just see it play out? Do we need to see objectives start to be the focus? I mean, Rift Herald soon.
Will likely just be the level 6 power spike for someone like Killer Queen. Like, you really just want to have the CC setup being there, as the Lucian Nami doesn't quite offer as much. Aqua Prism not that easy to land. The Tidal Wave way too telegraph to use as a standalone. So the Cyclone from Killer Queen really needed to fight these fights, and with Rift Herald being soon on the table, that is one way to really break open the game a little bit. As of course also the second Drake has spawned by now. Or, well, I just say has spawned, it's his first Drake actually. It's still the Mountain Drake from earlier, and Taki takes a lot of free damage. Half of his HP were just gone, but he can still try the all-in.
This is very aggressive. Hook is taken by CBL. Exhaust comes down in a good bubble, will send it away. Taki walks away on very low health, but all in all, just a couple trade of summoners. Exhaust for Ignite. But Shogun walks away, is completely untouched. Ariete is a little bit scuffed up, worse for wear. And while Killer Queen had to run away and look for some of that damage, actually Glory's going in for a kill. He's going to pick up. There's no minefield. Has it locked down, and that pressure, that kill from the mid lane has actually caused a reset on the Rift Herald. So this gives Killer Queen an opportunity, and then off. And my thing is frozen. Okay, we're back.
Yeah, we're back, and just now this early game pressure by Ari just very suffocating, right? In the CS department, also just now with the kill coming out, Unraveled Earth was already down, so the Spirit Rush can be used by Glory, using these charges offensively. As here we see how it actually played out. Ward being used, he charms him over the wall, lands the Hour of the Deception, can get tickled down a little bit by this threaded volley coming up, but Foggy fights in the middle left, takes extra damage from that. Ignite also down from Glory, and just all this damage coming up. The second rotation from the Hour of Deception means that Foggy just goes down, and Ariete might also go down.
Yeah, no hope, no chance, or no mana. Did not want to flash. Really was no point in using that. We're just seeing Ariete caught out a little bit again and again, trying to aggress onto Shogun. He's not really winning the 1v1 fights, and Poppy and Taki always there to clean it up. And now it just sort of CBL has to sort of walk around with Killer Queen, try and pick something out. And I guess, and also in that play, the cash out from Draven is fantastic. Gonna get picked up here, but the damage is done. Or he already cashed out. He has no stacks to lose.
Extended 1-for-1, and very well for the Draven side, of course, as he got this cash, and you just see it in his item build, but he just completed his Immortal Shield Bow, so he will be very, very strong in the next few minutes. Gotta say, about this last play where Ariete was dove again, Taki looked a little bit silly with using the dredge line with a little bit more distance, but he was just anticipating a potential flash from Ariete, so if Ariete would have tried to flash out of that, he would have just gotten mad life by Taki there, so Taki still very, very smart despite looking stupid over there. and SGB with a very important kill for the side of Shogun. Eventually he falls down. The heal maybe a little bit wasted, but at the end of the day probably still fine for them. And they also on the other side get this Rift Herald, and on the neutral objective side, SGB just keeps winning.
Yeah, absolutely. Just taking full advantage of knowing where Killer Queen is on the bot side of the map. But can Poppy get away? Yes, definitely seems that way. And as we move to the top side, Nagira is stuck in a 1v2 right now. No, is not. Poppy does not want to fight that, wants to just walk away. We are starting to see items come through. Nagira does look like he is going for that Black Cleaver first.
He rushed Black Cleaver, yeah. He doesn't want much of Mythic.
So
I mean, you don't get bonus stats from the Mythic item if you just have one item, so it's probably very fine to just rush a Legendary item as well. So Black Cleaver, especially against Ornn, makes a lot of sense, as he's just resistance stacking like no other champion with these bonus resistances from his passive. The only exception would maybe be the Malphite, and maybe it's also just the assumption that they will get the Mountain Drake, so he just has more armor to shred on the side. And all these stats from Black Cleaver are pretty good right now. It's just a lot of ability haste, which makes Renekton less clunky, gets bigger rotations out of his arsenal when he gets to fight the Ornn in the 1v1, so Black Cleaver first. Interesting choice, but it definitely makes sense.
Yeah, it signals to me a little bit. Hold that. Shogun is under pressure right now, but the shield bow is coming in clutch. The flash from Arietti will finish it off. Taki could not block for his AD carry, and that is a kill for the Lucian. Gonna shut down that Draven a little bit. That's probably denies what looks like SGB's plan for a Drake. Seems pretty good. And Glory wants to just keep putting his stamp down in this mid lane.
And they aren't the waves, but the Buffalo just looks to be swimming in those lanes. The bot lane getting 2v2 killed, the mid lane getting solo killed, just now losing the flash again against Glory is Froggy. And this gives so much pressure over to the side of Team Wales that they can just easily take this first drag, and this is very important for them. As they also just deny this first drag from the side of Saigon Buffalo. Mountain Drake, as you address, is just very important in really getting unkillable for the side of Hasmet. But is Team Wales quick enough? Oh, Poppy. Well, the Lucian secures the Drake? Okay.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
So timed burst, timing the burst with the smite, it works out well for them. Could have been risky, but we just see the power of the Lucian here. The Lucian Nami combo, it's pretty disgusting when it gets to work.
Yeah, Culling just comes to work, flashing potential CC by the side of Nautilus, so already has the damage ready. Against his former team, of course, he was getting benched for the favor of Shogun, and he was the academy player from Saigon Buffalo, so definitely something very emotional to play.
Major overstep by Froggy. Ariady is going to get caught up though in the CC chain, but Froggy is already so low. They just need a little bit more. Glory goes in, picks it up, and Taki will fall on the backside as well. The team fights are starting to come together, and now here is Nagia. Can he get onto it? Yes, he has that flash, and that is a quick 3-0 for the side of Team Wales, coming straight off the back, victory into victory.
And you mentioned it, SGB just always saying the Wales just are ready to bite. Nagia with the not even teleport coming up, but just being there ready for the play, using the dominance to clear the distance. And Glory just keeps chasing on with the Spirit Rush, getting a few resets. Ariety beautifully kiting offensively into it and just not getting hit by the seismic shove. Here we see the play again in detail as the tidal wave is used to disengage Froggy, who went very deep with his tidal wave. The wave not in the turret yet, so there's no way that Shogun can just step up to it. He just has to be busy farming minions, while Froggy is already down, as well as his support is in Taki. Quick double kill for Glory, and with Nagia being there, it's 3-0 for the side of Wales. And SGB, I'm not sure if they look like the second best team of the league.
Yeah, they're definitely not looking so hot in this game. Team Wales have usually had very strong game ones, come out the gate swinging a lot of the time. Now we're moving on, 6-2, 1000k gold, 1000k, 1k gold,
1000k.
You're just that good, man. I'm telling you.
Wales are millions ahead of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's why they're so big.
Yeah. FB still gonna try and look for an angle to get back into this game. Top side still seems to be very much where BJ has a lot of control. Light is spending a lot of time up there. And I mean, this game is very much on a knife's edge. So I feel we're stuck with a little bit of where are we gonna go? We're seeing first items across the board for Wales. Do we want to see them be a bit more aggressive, push a little bit harder, or are they comfortable waiting?
That's kind of interesting because the game looked very, very much in Saigon Buffalo's control, with them just outscaling brutally with this. discussing composition where the Oranges would get so tanky and the Lucian Nami not really finding any easy angles. But this just now, this overstep made it very interesting. As now Team Wales 2k ahead, got the first wake, looked individually better in those lanes, especially with the way their champions are interacting with each other. And especially in those mid games where the VCS teams tend to go for fights they don't really have to go for. This is very, very dangerous for SGB to be in. And what I want to see from SGB is just not be disciplined, accept the fact that they are behind right now, that fights aren't going to be easy. Maybe give away the second Herald, the second Dragon, and just be a little bit cleaner. But this doesn't look like it.
But he's just not tanky enough. He's going to potentially fall, but no. Gets to walk away. There's not enough backup to help him out. Now here comes Ornn, going to get the reset of that Call of the Forge God into Glory. Now CBL trapped out, has to flash away. The size that comes through, and Glory is just trying to make it happen. Has to stopwatch, and now being chased back. Taki, the hook does connect, even though he's over the wall. Keck W, just Nautilus things, and nothing can be done. Nagia cannot teleport in. I mean, he could have teleported in, but he chose not to, and SGB, they bring it right back around. 3-4.
Still going though. Wait, no, it's not over,
yeah. Now Nagia's on top of Shogun. Don't think he can get out of this one. The stand aside is not going to be enough, and the Dominus will run him down. Now Hasmed should be safe under tower, but so 3 for 2 in the long play. It's not the end of the world, but it started. It could have been better. It could have been worse.
Could have been way worse for SGB, so I really was thinking it was a very ill-timed fight. Taki just barely survives Killer Queen, kind of over-chasing into him. You either get the kill or just don't really go for it, so he just goes down to the side of Foggy, and this beautiful forge by the side of Hasmed, delaying so much time out of Glory, uses Spirit Wash defensively, as now Foggy is also in with the Weaver's Wall to deny CBL and Areti from really entering the fight. As just now, a very clutch bubble comes out for the side of CBL, and the fight looks winnable for Team Secret again, but Areti can just get chased down. Very much damage from the side of an Ornn, of course. Just now it gets worsened as Nagia is back in. Can, together with CBL, just punish the overstepping Shogun. I mean, this was very, very telegraphed. Shogun could have just walked out. He would have been fine. And here he loses his shield bar cooldown, which is also maybe important for the potential Drake fight that could come up later. And gives away a kill to Nagia. And Draven dying in general, very, very crucial as he loses elevation stacks. So he will not be cashing in greatly if he happens to get another kill. But regardless of that, SGB has the upper hand on the next Drake as Team Wales seem to be not so interested in it.
Trading out the Rift Herald for this time around, picking that up quite comfortably. And I do wish to apologize a little bit to Nagia. His teleport came up about the time Ariete died in that fight, so no, wasn't going to teleport in and couldn't have teleported in earlier and changed the fight. And that's just so much damage onto BJ. That's going to have to sort of pull him back. And top lane has broken. That is without the Rift Herald's use. So they can work this around, try and break open another town, really open up the map for Wales.
And they really have to, because I mean the scaling is something that we keep mentioning. As right now they are very, very strong. They need to abuse that fact. Already virtually on 3 items, as you can kind of count the Imperial Mandate from CBL as his inventory basically for this fight. As we just now saw, his damage really chunking out BJ, who's supposed to be a tank by the way. And right now Nagia still on his own, can create leads against his Ornn in the side lane, getting this first turret down. And they were Herald just now charging, but Keeper's verdict to deny the Rift Herald charge. And this will likely be the mid lane T1 turret, and no map control for SGB, and potential dive.
Glory in the worst position possible, has that stopwatch to keep himself okay though. Now Wukong in the backline, but the damage is done. Okay, no, the Rift Herald charge does not complete, but Froggy's going in for another one. Miss is that seismic shove, and the bubble is good to force out the Bellows Breath. And oh no, nobody dies, but it's mid lane tower 14 Wales. I think they're happy with that.
I think SGB is happy that they didn't lose a single member. They were kind of close to really get kills on their own, because that dive looked very, very rushed by side of Wales. They could have just waited for the
got out of that without having to flash.
Yeah, and Froggy also uses flash seismic shove to get absolutely no one. Also very, very interesting to see, but that can just happen if the enemy reacts correctly. Ariete also looking very, very slick on this Lucian army in this mid game. So that's the one thing that Saigon Buffalo definitely has to look out for, as mid and T1 turret was falling, so map control going over to the side of Wales, and I just want to see them really press harder. They are very, very strong right now. They also start to feel it themselves, and SGB in these team fights they are playing right now, they are dancing with death a little bit much.
And now Baron has entered the Rift. Still a little bit early. We mentioned perhaps there's some damage issues for these teams, so not going to be really happy at attempting an early Baron, wanting to just rushing that down far too early for that. But it does mean Vision cannot lapse around the top side of the map for too long, and that means that we're going to have to play a much more spread out game, and Team Wales having full control of that top side with those 2 outer towers taken should have the upper hand of getting some good deep vision in there. But right now, vision control does belong pretty heavily to SGB, looking at these entrances to the river.
And they just now swap Nagia to the bot lane on the side of Team Wales, which has a very interesting reacting item build, by the way. It's Black Cleaver Sunfire Cape, so it kind of wants to abuse Sunfire Cape being overpowered in general to be a tank item in the damage item simultaneously. Going for this 1v1 against Ornn, which he can of course win, get the shove in, and together with the wave and Killer Queen, he can just dive.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely gonna threaten him off. I don't know if they can lock down the kill. The Valley's Breath is fourth, but actually everybody's here. It's a party. 4 people bot lane. This tower will not fall. There's no way for them to quickly pick it up, and Ariadne just has to book it. So they're trying to do the same to him, but he will be a lot more successful than the Ornn. So tower to kill for pretty much nothing. Just a few ultimates and even a flash from Tagi.
Summoner split from Ariadne are both down. This could be detrimental in the next fights. And Lucian, the main carry for the side of Team Wales, definitely. So him being without a flash, without exhaust, could be important in the next fight. So that's at least something gained by the side of SGB. But good dive play by the side of Team Wales. And I think Husband also, while he was on the losing end of the plate, played it quite well, using the Unstoppable to deny the Everforce cone from snaring him. He was forcing so many members and so many ultimates for the side of Team Wales. The tidal wave not really hitting anybody, and he was delaying quite some time over there. So Team Wales definitely spent some resources on that one. But overall, I think they're quite happy with it. 4k gold in the mid game is still something that is substantial, I would say. As right now, however, the Ornn starts crafting his items. Rimefire Forge Grasp already in his own inventory, and he will continue to upgrade items as the levels progresses. It's of course the Ornn's dilemma, as we all know, right? He kind of wants to group because he's strong in fights, but he also wants to soak XP, so he wants to side lane. So he will always be very aware of his decisions and can't just make both at the same time.
Interrupting the back, but that is culling blown very aggressively to just try and get a little bit of positioning onto this fight. This dragon is going to spawn soon. BJ has a nice wraparound. Seems to be completely unspotted, but it could lead to disaster if Wales engage onto the 4.
Stopwatch.
Sonya's already. And
Killer Queen!
Huge wombo combo breaks out the Cyclone into the tidal wave, but the call of the Forge God will turn it back around. Taki survives for so damn long, and now BJ has arrived. They couldn't actually finish off the kills. Glory hits into that stopwatch, and he's going to walk away with 1. Can he pick up Froggy? No, he cannot. It's a triple kill for Ornn. And now CBL left alone. This Nami can't do anything. She will survive, but that should be pretty much the control of the dragon over to SGB.
And I didn't know that Husband was playing Rumble and all at the same time, because those Bellows definitely did way too much damage. Actually killing Ariadne from like 600 range was absolutely illegal to see. A triple kill for Husband on, kind of saving the fight for SGB, because it looked beautiful for the side of Team Wales to have this insane flash cyclone coming out from Killer Queen, Glory following up with his Everforce and his Spirit Watch himself. And it was just backline dive to backline dive, very very risky to play, as we see the play again. Taki's stopwatch was being forced out of Earth below him, and now we see tidal wave, many members. The huge cycle comes out, but also the full Ornn combo flies in, and this very beautiful seismic shove onto Underworld Earth deals so much damage.
Ariadne dashed into the minefield twice.
No.
Buddy. So that meant he couldn't commit the damage to finish off the fights, and that's you kind of need that Lucian to put in the work to capitalize on Killer Queen and CBL's glory. Speaking of glory, that is not a place you want to be. That is just keep us verdict, very good. Keeps him locked in. Sorry, Sephir's presence as well. But now the follow-up, Call of the Forge God and Weaver's Wall. Ariadne has no chance to get out, and those 2 carries are dead, so that just should be Baron. You can't fight this in a 3v5.
This should be Baron. Killer Queen also flashes from this engage earlier. He could just go for a Miracle Steal with the Warrior Trickster coming in and just maybe look for a good fight on their own, but it's 3v5. They shouldn't really be able to win it. But they still want to try, of course.
They want to get in now. Nagia is right in the pit. He can maybe take out
He
BJ.
did it!
He gets it! It's gonna be taken down. Killer Queen will die in the process, and so will Nagia. The CBL surely will follow as well, and that means Baron is on nobody. And okay, that's probably not worth it when everybody else dies.
And Chloe instantly TPs to the bot lane for whatever reason, just for going for a small shove. I don't know why you TP'd there. If you just walk to the mid lane anyway. Could have TP'd to the mid lane, by the way. Regardless of that, Baron for absolutely nobody. Killer Queen gets the Miracle Seal on the 200 HP. He was there for the fight, so was Nagia. Had to cause just some disruption. Gotta say though, the Baron still kind of important because it just means that Saigon Buffalo doesn't get the Baron, but Saigon Buffalo in general, just with all those picks, just winning time and also winning gold, and right now should be close to even if they are like maybe 2k gold down, but having multiple ornaments as we see the fight again to the HP. Killer Queen gets barely in range for the smite. Yeah, he was very low as well on the Wukong, so but very short of just dropping beforehand. And Nagia on the Sunfire Cape dominance Renekton, he can buy some time and just deal some AoE damage to really disrupt this fight. So Saigon Buffalo a little bit panicky. Could also maybe just do a damage stop and just kill Killer Queen with all the time in the world they have. But chose against it. And yeah, now Saigon Buffalo, regardless of that, still very good at this game right now. One Drake ahead. A small goat lead for Wales, but with this Ornn being level 15, it's basically in the virtual numbers Saigon Buffalo being ahead already.
Just not quite being able to put it together, but Team Wales by no means out of it. If they can actually get a good fight with all 5 members, they can perhaps come together, but SGB are just everywhere. Poppy and Froggy trying to keep Nagia down. Should be a
late ult.
But oh my god, this man does not die. He can't quite get the finish off onto BJ. But he is going to walk away, and now Killer Queen's here to finish it off on the back end, and here comes Ariete. Nagia still wants more, and there's going to be a pick up here. Call of the Forge God's going to come on through.
This could be 3 picks for nothing.
He can't get the second cast, and that's it. That's 3.
Yeah, that's 3.
Absolutely mental outplay.
Yeah, they just thought they could kill Nagia, but Nagia wasn't having any of that. He's very tanky on the Sunfire Cape Stevax build. Was waiting very long to burn his ultimate, but now I figured out why he used the dominance so late. He just wanted to bait them in very deeply, as his members could really follow up for the cleanup, and when he was really ready for it, huge Stevax shield coming out, dominance all of a sudden onto him. He just lifesteals so much as well through his abilities, as here we see how they try to pin him down with the Weaver's Wall following up onto the heroic charge, but they weren't quite able to let the stun as the wall wasn't quite built up yet. You will see Nagia just fighting in the melee against BJ, doing so much damage, healing back up, and yeah. The Ornn doesn't do too much damage, and while the Talia does a lot, she also kind of kept by cooldowns, so she couldn't finish him off quite yet. There's no ADC on the side of SGB in this skirmish, so dying pretty quickly. Ariete being there for the follow-up. Forge God can't do anything in this situation because it's already lost the tidal wave just for good measure. And with CBL being there as a healing bot, not even Nagia dies. It's free for nothing for the side of Wales.
You can potentially even point to things like just these minutiae. Like Froggy's decided to go for Crown of the Shattered Queen, which seems to make a lot of sense. Hold that thought, as that's a big engage on SGB. Nagia once again so damn tanky, and straight onto Froggy with a flash. This is what they wanted from Team Wales. It's a double kill. It's Huss meant to follow, and that will secure them a mid lane tower. Surely it's not game.
Nagia recalls right now. He wants to TP onto it. It's 4 members dead on the side of SGB. Poppy alive, but she has no wave clear. This is a very hefty push, and I think they go for the game.
20 seconds on Taki. This might actually be the game. Nagia just needs to tank for the team. The minion wave tries to get cleared out, but one still lives, and that's the only one they need. Team Wales take game 1, and are the second best team in the league.
Second best team, by the way. Yeah, let's stop kicking you by some lying.